Hello beautiful people, it's your girl Blessy coming at you with a new video, and it's a French video, French language video. I haven't done them like in ages now, and I kind of do like doing them because every single day I'm learning a new thing about the French language, and I have decided today to share with you guys. So if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking I'm gonna do a trip to France sometime soon in the future, or you just want to learn the basics of the French language that you actually don't learn in school or many of the places that you can get a French course from, even Duolingo. So in this video I am going to be breaking down the few bits of like vocab that I picked up in my time here in France, like in the first few weeks. And yeah, we're gonna get started, but before we do, make sure you click that subscribe button, like the video, share with your friends, and comment if you've got any questions, or just reach out to me. You know, my details are literally on the description box below, so make sure that you are staying connected. But anyways, let's get started. Right, so the first bit of grammar vocab that I picked up while being in France is when it comes to bonjour. We already knew how to say that, you know what I mean? That's like the first few things they teach you in school when you're learning French, but they don't actually tell you what you're meant to respond to bonjour. So obviously when I came and someone would say bonjour, I'd be like bonjour. And that is right, but when you're now leaving the store, for example, you don't say bonjour to the person, you say buongiorno. And it's such a simple thing. Like, we even have that in Italian. It's like buongiorno and then you say buona giornata, like, you know what I mean, when you're leaving. It's like, why is it that I never kind of like, number one, why wasn't I ever taught it? And then number two, why didn't I ever think of that, you know what I mean? Anyways, that goes on to the second thing that I picked up. When it's the same thing with like bonsoir. So if you come into a shop, for example, and you're obviously greeting the shopkeeper, which they actually do here, like you can't come into a shop and not say like bonsoir, bonjour, bonjour, like to the people, because I feel like they deem it as rude, so they'll be like bonjour, like in your face, so you're like, oh dang. You know, it's personal space. But anyways, as I was saying, so when you're not leaving the shop in the evening, because bonsoir is obviously what you say in the evening, you say bonne soirée, so it's like have a nice evening, that's what it means. And I'm not gonna lie, we have the same thing in Italian, so likewise, I don't know why I didn't ever like think of that and put two and two together. So like in Italian we'll be like, okay, so buonasera, and then when we're leaving we'll be like, oh, buona serata, type of thing. So it's like, yeah, like why didn't I ever think of that? Number three is actually like kind of like linked to the first two things, and it's like in the afternoon, like after like 12 p.m, before 5 p.m, 4 p.m, whenever you think evening starts, they actually do have a way of saying good afternoon. And what is that way? It's bon après-midi, so it's like bon, so it's like good afternoon. And it's like, whoa, it's like learning these things in the first few weeks here, I was like, whoa, like I actually didn't get taught French, because these are like little things that will make your whole experience here in France so much different, because you're actually going to be engaging with the shopkeepers, with like whoever you're coming across. Like you can walk into a shop, say your little bonjour, say your little like bonsoir, or even like a restaurant, and then when you're leaving you can either say bonne soirée, bonne journée, or even bon après-midi. And all of these things do make a difference, because it's like you're actually engaging with the people you're meeting. So those three greetings, make sure you kind of like know them on your next trip to France, or when you're doing your next speaking with your like pen pal, whatever, however you're learning French, make sure you start using them, because I've started using them and I feel lit. And number four is actually more linked to like how like the French youth speak. So this is something that I kind of like picked up, like I think it was within the first week or something. And so like I was kind of like analyzing how like French young people speak, and like if they're sending you a message, they'll be like, oh, like they will say du coup, and it's like D-U-C, like obviously space and then C-O-U-P. And I was like, what the heck, what does that even mean? And even Google Translate couldn't like translate it for me. So I'm trying to like make sense of it. So obviously like don't take my word as sacrosanct. Like I might be wrong, I might be right, but I think I'm in the right track. And it's like, for example, I think it means like then. So for example, if someone says ça va de coupe, it means like how you doing then. It's like a little like add-on at the end of a sentence to just like, you know, make it a bit more cool. That's what I'm guessing. If I'm wrong and you're from France and you're watching this and you think, oh my gosh, this girl's going terribly wrong, please write it down in the comments below, because obviously I'm not trying to like, you know, give fake news. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of a mad one, but it's what I picked up. It's what I like, the sense I've given it. I think it's right. So yeah, like, so I've been using my own little text messages of like where like the coupe, all that shit. Like yes, and that actually, what I just said right now, where is another thing that the French youth use. Instead of like saying we, just like in like English we say yeah instead of saying yes, that's their own version, and it's spelled O-U-A-I-S. So if you now say where, it's just like adding that little bit of, you know, Frenchness to you. So it's like you can kind of like pass on as like one of the youth in France or whatever, but obviously saying in like, you know, cool manner in there. And you can just obviously like claim your French citizenship after that. Number 5, the 5th thing that I've kind of like noticed is like French youth do really like abbreviating. So these are actually the abbreviations that I've kind of like picked up on, and I'm like, that is cool, I'm gonna start using them. So the first one is MDR, so MDR, and that literally means meurs de rire. I can't say it properly because there's just too many R's and I'm like but it's like basically low, like laughing out loud, but they say I'm dying of laughter type of thing. But yeah, so it's like something else that I've picked up on. And another one is TQT. And for the longest time I was so confused as to what that stands for, because like I'll see people write it down in chats and everything, and I'll be like, what does TQT even stand for? And then I did my research. I just asked someone like, I'm not French, please explain to me. And they said to me, it literally means t'inquiète, so meaning like don't worry. So if you want to say don't worry, like DW, like the French equivalent is literally TQT, which is an extra letter, which is not even that deep. So if you're ever interacting with someone on like couchsurfing or something, that's French, you can like be like, oh, TQT, I don't need the couch anymore or whatever. I've never couch surfed in my life, but it was the first example that came to my mind. And then, another thing that I've learned is some people in France don't say go in discotheque. Like discotheque just sounds clapped, and I've always believed that it just sounds disgusting, you know what I mean? So I recently found out that they actually say boîte, so it's like B-O-I-T-E. And obviously I don't know if this is just like slang from the north, because I'm literally in the north right now, so you will have to double check like the accuracy of everything that I'm saying right now. But I'm just sharing like obviously what I've learned so far with you guys, so you can like add it to your vocabulary list if you have one. I had one when I was learning French, and I still have one. Like I'm consulting my little paper here as I'm talking to you guys. And yeah, and then I think there's 2 more things that that kind of like picked up. And it's like movie night, they call it like soirée Netflix, so it's like Netflix evening. That's what it literally means, but that's what they call it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, you know. And they kind of like changes, they have like different ones if you're like watching the movie like at different times of the day, but I can't remember it. Like it didn't stand out to me as much as soirée Netflix, and I was like, yeah. And then another thing they have is PTDR, which is like PTDR, I think that's how you like pronounce it in French, and it's literally just like LMFAO, like LMAO, so it's the same thing. It's like on the same line of like MDR and everything. So it's not something like war. But another thing that I've kind of like picked up is like if you're saying like you're welcome, there's different ways of saying it. Obviously when I was learning French, they only taught us like de rien or pas de problème, but they also say like pas de soucis. So it's like no worries type of thing. and they also say je t'en prie. That one is literally one that I literally just like found out. Like I was like, what? And it's such a cool way of saying it. Like je t'en prie is like it reminds me of like the Italian language, how we say like prego. It's like I don't know how to explain it in English, but like it's like it's so hard to explain in English, but it literally just means like you're welcome. Like so now you've got like 4 different ways of saying you're welcome. It's like de rien, pas de problème, pas de souci, je t'en prie. Alright, so that is literally a quick breakdown of the main things that I kind of like picked up while I've been here in France. I'm still learning the language. I'm in the whole France and I'm still learning French. And I guess that is like the beauty of like being in a country. You immerse yourself in it and you just take it all in rather than just like being in the outside. So I thought, yeah, let me just like, you know, share my knowledge with those that are interested in learning the language and just like thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm going to France. Where do I even start? And it's like those are like nice little ways of starting to kind of like pass off as a local. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, share the video with your friends, because if you do know anyone else that's like interested in learning French or interested in going to France, share the video with them. And in the meantime, take care of yourself and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Picking up on all these different lingos. I'm like, whoa, I feel cool. I feel cool, yo. I'm French.